Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
In some way, something knocked us off the air, and we're on a backup system now.
I am gasoline and matches. I turn everything to ashes. That's right.
51 Areas Talk Radio. Hosted by Dave Miller.
Well, I said I was never going to do this. 7 years, almost 8 years going. What better reason to come out and do some video than to have this special guest that I have tonight? I'm honored to have him. He's a cool dude. I've been talking with him for a while. If you don't know who John is, then you obviously are really, really young, or you were living on a different planet in 1993. Gonna bring him up. What's up, brother? How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. How's life, dude?
Living here in Las Vegas,
Nice.
No,
Nice.
Sarasota, sorry.
No, it's all good
right now.
I don't want to reveal any of your location. That's all up to you, man, to tell people where you're at.
Okay.
But, dude, you've had an interesting life, man. So,
Yeah.
I mean, do you ever just wake up and just like, holy fuck, what, you know?
Well, yeah, I woke up and I don't know, everything was surreal after that. It's like, wow, I was in like a dreamland, after the attack. I mean,
Right.
what happened afterwards, all the media and the attention and the public interest in the whole thing, that was just, like surreal. It was a dream, matter of fact, when she attacked me, cut my penis off, I woke up and immediately I thought Freddy Krueger did it. Immediately. That's what I thought. Because it was so horrific, I mean, who would do that to somebody? And I'm like, sitting up and like, I was scared, scared to go back to sleep. So I'm applying pressure. Hopefully I get to the hospital and survive. And I told my friend that was, sleeping in the living room to drive me to the hospital. And I told him, don't let me fall asleep.
Right.
And he was tired. He was sleeping.
So before we get right in, I don't want to rush right into that. I'd like to do the story. There was like 2 court cases that I remember as a kid, well, I say kid, but I was 23, 24 at the time. I remember the OJ Simpson trial and I remember the John Bobbitt trial. Like it just like completely just took over, separated, like OJ separated races. It was race against race. And with you and Lorena, it was like man versus woman, men were like all pissed off, like, hey, that wasn't right. And women were like, well, he shouldn't have done this or he shouldn't have done that. It was like it was like Moses separated the seas, man. And you had men and women go, just everybody pissed off at each other over this. But before we just dive right into that, how did you meet her, man? And, let's talk about before this. Oy vey. Do I dare ask what that is, brother?
Oh, that's a mushroom. And they picked the mushroom.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, let's go back to some happier times here, man. And John, I just want to say this. If I laugh at anything that we talk about, I'm not laughing at you directly or anything, sir. I'm just, when I laugh, it's kind of like my holy shit button. You know what I mean? It's like that right there was pretty brutal, brother. That was pretty brutal. But I want to go back to some happier times, man. Like when you guys first got together, you guys, look at you in this photo, dude. You're so macking out right there in this photo. Look at how you're a great looking dude. You look at this, man. You're a happy couple here.
That's before all the corruption set in. Just we had a lot of bad influences in our marriage.
Right.
And, we were good people, but then we were mixing with a lot of wealthy narcissists, I would say.
Right.
We were hanging out with and going out, well, mainly her boss and, her husband and their friends. And they were wealthy, and we were just starting out. We barely had anything, So we, we were struggling as a young couple, and, I got out of the military. I was trying to find work and doing whatever I could, but she started acting, Lorena started acting really bad. She started being abusive. She was mean to my family. She had blame shifted. She tried to make people believe that I was the abusive one physically, but she was the one that was abusive. And I'm like, wait, hang on. I was gaslit. I wasn't abusive. She was, She blamed. She tried to make everybody believe that I was abusive towards her, but there was no proof that I ever abused her. And it's like, okay, well, she attacked me many times, and many men don't stand up for themselves and say, well, hang on, my wife abused me. I didn't touch her,
Right.
But then there's this big fight that goes on, and they provoke you to try to get you to do something to them so that you can get arrested, because they know the law's on their side, even in divorce court, Hey,
Right.
hey, gotta be quiet though.
No, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, that photo, bro, that was I'd like to see it again here in a little bit, but let's get to that before you show it again, because that my stomach hurts right now, brother. I'm not gonna lie. That was pretty rough.
That was a sneak peek.
Yeah. So some of the stories were she was saying that you were cheating on her all the time, just being
Well, yeah.
Look at you, dude. I mean, you're a good-looking young lad, dude. Look at this guy. He's got chicks all over the place.
Well, yeah. The thing was, I was having an affair with college girls when we were separated for over a year. I left her for over a year because she was just mean to everybody in my family, and she stole from her boss, embezzled money. She stole from stores. She lied, and she just got real mean and nasty. And that's like I didn't want to be part of that. It's, well, I'm married to a woman. It's just, she didn't start out that way. And I left.
So how long into the relationship before things started to go bad? How long were you guys together before things got bad?
I would say when my brother Todd stayed with us, we had an extra bedroom, and he stayed with us, and it got bad because he had problems with drugs, and he wanted to try to get away from the environment he was in by moving from New York to Virginia. So we tried to help him out, and he didn't change, and it caused some problems, and it was my mistake, that he was there and he was causing problems for us. So I called my dad and told my dad to come get him, and he came, got him, and brought him back home. I have 5 brothers, and he's the black sheep. Everybody's always been trying to help him, so, but he's doing good now. But he's not doing good. He has cancer. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
He's got fourth stage lung cancer.
Wow.
And he just battled with rectal cancer, and I don't know. It's just, he's a good guy, but he's been in and out of trouble his whole life, and he caused problems with me and Lorena because we tried to help him. No good deed goes unpunished.
Right.
So, yeah, and then.
Well, I mean, speaking of you, I mean, you guys are a really good-looking couple, man. You guys looked like you were really, really happy.
Yeah, we could have. You gotta take her inside.
It's all good, man.
Camera.
If people can't handle dogs barking, they'll deal with it.
Yeah. So, we would have had a good life if we would have had the help of our family. Her family was in South America and Venezuela, and my family was in New York, and we were by ourselves in Virginia without any family support to help us with our problems.
Right.
You know? And it could have been a successful marriage, family and all that, but it fell apart because we didn't have a support system.
How long were you guys actually married before the attack happened?
Oh, we dated like 9 months, and then I think she was on a student visa. She was working for her boss as a nanny before she became a nail technician,
Right.
doing nails. So she was real cute, and she was starting out. She was just learning how to speak English and going to school and on a student visa. But we were dating for like 9 months, and she got really good at English, and then she hang on a minute. Oh, she had her mother come here, and then we were at this restaurant, Friendly's.
Right.
So it's a chain restaurant. So her mother kind of suggested that we should get married because her visa was expiring, and if she went back to her country, she wouldn't be able to come back. So I kind of thought about it and asked my parents about it, and my parents advised against it, but I ended up marrying her anyways because I want to see her going back because we were doing really well in our relationship in the beginning, but I didn't want her to go back to her country and not be able to come back because she was saying that her father had problems getting a visa from Venezuela.
Right.
And so we got married June 18th. That's an important date. June 18th. So
Okay.
we'll talk about that later.
Okay, so you guys are married. You got your brother staying with you. Okay, get married, you get your place, and then your brother moves in with you, and then problems really start happening fast.
Right. Yeah. And then he left. Well, he was stealing money. And he was doing drugs. So we had to have him send him home. Then and then I guess we her boss. Geez, dog's barking.
It's all good, bud. Don't even sweat it. I got 3 of them.
I'm losing chain of thought here. So her boss had a lot to do with our relationship because we hung out with her boss. She was very wealthy. She owned a lot of beauty salons. She had a lot of money, power, influence, and that's she played a big role in the case, but a covert role. She was hidden behind the scenes, so no one actually knew what she did. Because me and Lorena had a relationship with her husband, and her kids, and we would hang out with them all the time in dinners, movies, boating on the weekends at the Potomac River. She bought a brand new cabin cruiser. She was wealthy, had a lot of money, and we were young. We didn't have no money, so and she was working as a nanny and as a nail salon. And I was a Marine. We didn't have and we bit off more than we could chew. And she helped us get a house, and 2 new cars, and we got too much too fast, and it got difficult, that situation. And then and then she embezzled money from her boss, the lady that helped us out, that we hung out with. We were good friends. We're like family. And how can my wife steal from her boss? I mean, you'll bite the hand that feeds you. So she found out that she was doing this. She was go into the office and look at the appointment book and say, something's wrong here. There's a bunch of race marks, and the customer would call and say, yeah, I was there last week, and yeah, you were okay. And they would do the appointment in pencil and erase the appointment if the customer at that time paid in cash.
Okay.
Pocket the money. But somebody taught my wife how to do this, Lorena, and she was doing it, and she was collecting extra money, and seeing that we were so close to her boss, she had Lorena in her office. She called me and said, I need you to come to my office at the main nail salon that she owned. So I went in the office and she was mad. She was grabbing Miranda's hair, pulling her, smacking her. You know, it's like,
Wow.
well, yeah. It's like, well, every time she looked at the book, every time she looked at the book at a erased appointment, you know, it made her mad because not only she was doing it, other you know, of her employees were doing it. So she probably lost
Okay.
a lot of money. You know,
Right.
it's like, how can she
So did
betray
any of this
somebody that was so good to us?
did any of
How can
this
Lorena
like
betray? Wait a minute. How can
let's
Lorena
talk-
betrays somebody that was so good to her and me? I mean, she was really good to us. She was, and her husband. So I got mad, you know, and left her over a year. You know, I just, you know, I couldn't take the abuse, the lying, the stealing, the embezzling, what she did. It just was crazy. I said, you know, I just packed and left. You know, I didn't sign up. I didn't sign
so
up for that kind.
what was the dollar amount that she extorted from her boss? Do you know what the final amount was? How much money it was?
Like a little over 7,000.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
And that was in like 1990, 1990, 91.
So what happened? Did you have to pay that back? Did you guys did she press
Yeah,
charges?
Well, I you know, yeah, she made her pay it back, you know, instead of her calling the cops and doing it legally, you know. And apparently, you know, that's what happened the second time when she attacked me. She went to her boss's house, and right after the attack, she went to her boss's house, and she was there probably about 5 to 6 hours before she went in before she went in for questioning. So I think it was okay. Well, they were working on a false script because this thing's been a false script since. So her boss basically said, "Well, this is what you need to say. You know, got to rehearse it." And then they go down to the police station, and then I got the police report. You can read it. She wasn't staying on script during the interview. She was incriminating herself. So her boss was like, you know, was present during the interview. The police, you know, so she probably gave a like a, you know, we're done here. Got to get a lawyer. So
Right.
it only lasted like 10 to 15 minutes, and they were done. And they ended the interview, and they got a lawyer. So then their whole strategy was try to get me for rape. So they charged me for marital sexual abuse. I had to go to court, and then I was acquitted in a very short amount of time by 9 women and 3 men. And then they say, okay, now what do we do? You know, he you know, John's innocent of false charges. And then they had to go to court, and she had to orchestrate this whole thing of her going to court and getting her you know, off. So she was more going toward the insanity defense. So
Okay.
she hired a good insanity defense attorney.
Speaking of insanity,
Yeah.
this photo you sent me, dude. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much. All right. I want to talk about the night.
Blair Howard.
I want to talk about the night of the attack. Okay. And
Right.
you might not like my questions, and it's no disrespect or anything. You were asleep when this happened, correct?
Right.
Okay. What happened before you went to bed, John? What would make her get to that point to where she would come at you while you were asleep?
Yeah, well, I fell asleep right away, and she was asking me, you know, she's trying to have a conversation with me while I'm sleeping, and she wanted to know where I was. So I responded, you know, didn't want to have a conversation, so I just wanted to give her one word answer, you know. So I said Holiday Inn. I told her the Holiday Inn, which was the wrong thing to say. You know, because she was already upset because I was leaving. I was, you know, wanted a divorce. So I was leaving. So she thought I was having an affair with some Asian girl that hit me on my bicycle like 3 days prior. You know, that came to the house and gave me a new bike, you know, that Monday. So Tuesday night we're out, and I said, you know, all I told her was a Holiday Inn. She thought I was there the whole night. But we just stopped there. That was our first stop. and there was supposed to be a band, but it wasn't there. So we went to a couple other places, and then we got tired and went to Denny's, had breakfast, and went home. Now that the whole thing was they were trying to say we were drunk. Just because we went out doesn't mean we were drunk. We barely had anything to drink, and we went to Denny's. They don't serve alcohol at Denny's. We had breakfast, coffee, and that was proven that we were at Denny's. We went home, went to bed. We were tired, but she assumed, I'm leaving her. She didn't want a divorce. She wanted to get her citizenship, have a family, kids, be a mother, and but she was giving me the silent treatment for like 2 months. She wouldn't talk to me because I was working 2 jobs already, and I got another job working in a nightclub across the street. The sign just went up, and I kind of like rode by there on my bicycle and saw the sign and went in there. And I just got out of the Marine Corps, so they needed a bouncer, so they hired me. Right. And then I was going in for meetings every couple weeks before the open. And Lorena was upset; she didn't want me to work there, and that's where the silent treatment came in. And no one knew this, even me. I didn't even know because I went through a lot of trauma because what she did to me, and I couldn't think and tell the story the way it should have been told. That okay, I was working in a nightclub. She said she was going to spy on me, and that was June 18th was the grand opening. That's when we got married. This is the 4th year anniversary. The place opens. And I already broke up with her. No, I didn't break up with her. I broke up with her Sunday. Friday night, the grand opening of the nightclub, girls were flirting with me, give me their phone numbers. I didn't ask for that. I was just doing my job. And if she was there incognito, so if she's seen that, that would have pissed her off. And Saturday night. Right. So 2 nights I worked there, and she didn't want me to work there. That's a big the Asian girl that hit me on a bicycle. She was young, she was pretty. She was 19 years old. The girls that were flirting me at the nightclub, they were pretty ladies, and she was just very possessive, very jealous.
Latin girls, man, girls, dude, Latin girls.
I was just trying to get us out of a 1-bedroom apartment, I was working 3 jobs now, so I thought she'd be happy, but she didn't want me her married husband in that environment.
Okay.
But no one knew that. They kept that. They suppressed that. They didn't want the jury or anybody knowing that.
So she's trying to talk to you this night, and you're exhausted from working 3 jobs, and you just fall asleep in the middle of the conversation with her.
Well, yeah, I was just so exhausted, extremely exhausted. All I wanted to do was sleep. That's how tired I was, because we worked all day, then we went out all night. You're up for like almost 24 hours, and you know how that is. You're out, you work real hard all day, and then you go out with the boys, and go eat breakfast and come home. You're exhausted. I mean, extremely exhausted. Right. You get to bed, you go to sleep right away, and that's what it was.
So we're gonna. No, go ahead, bro.
So tired, I could. If I would have stayed awake, I could have talked to her. But the thing was that the trigger was the Holiday Inn. She assumed I was having an affair, and I was leaving her. That's a double whammy. That's abandonment and infidelity. Two painful things, extremely painful things. That's the way you look at it. It wasn't this mysterious abuse that she says. She don't want people knowing that it was abandonment and infidelity that was the reason of the attack, and that's the way most women do it throughout history. Every man who had gotten their hot dog cut off, sausage or kielbasa, whatever, that it's because of infidelity or abandonment. I studied all of them. I studied all the cases where from 1836 up till now. You research it, it's all the same. It's because of abandonment or infidelity, and women have this dream of having this beautiful family and this good life with this great guy, and if it doesn't turn out that way, they get mad.
So, all right, so you go to sleep. And the attack happens. You wake up, and you're covered in blood. You didn't feel anything? You nothing?
Yeah, I felt some pain there. Yeah. I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off.
I'm sure of it after the attack. But so it wakes you up. You're out cold, and she does this. She just goes to the kitchen, gets a knife, comes to the bedroom, and explain what happens.
Well, I think she was upset that the abandonment and infidelity, and she got up, wanted to get a glass of water, and then came back into the bedroom, and she sat on the side of me, and she said, "You hurt my feelings. You did it again and again and again. Are you happy?" I didn't hear her say that. That's her testimony. So I didn't respond to it. So I'm sleeping. I mean, how can she know? She's working herself up to do it. You know what I mean? So she cuts it off and runs out the door and drives down the road and throws it out of a car window, like an old empty beer can.
Now, in the very beginning of the cast, you showed what you called the mushroom. Would you show that again? Would you show that again?
Oh, mushroom. Oh, am I allowed to?
Yeah, go ahead, brother. This is yeah. God damn. Holy shit. Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay. So
the tragedy of justice. What women
that's
get away
fucking
with?
rough.
What women
That's
get away
rough.
with?
That's rough. Okay. So she drives off and she throws.
Well, she cut it off, and then she got up and threw it over her shoulder, and I heard like a loud grunt. She said, "Damn, this thing's heavy."
So she throws it out the window.
Damn, this thing's heavy.
Okay, I gotta go. I'm trying not to laugh. So she throws it out the window. She goes to her boss's house.
Right.
Holy shit, John! Those photos are hardcore.
She threw it out the window. You know why it took? You know why it took her so long to throw it out the window?
Why? Because it was so heavy.
She didn't have the balls.
Okay. She didn't have the balls. Okay, so she throws it out the window and she goes to her boss's house.
Right.
I love this interview. I do. I truly do. I'm just trying to make it past the photo. It's really rough. I think men that look at that photo will understand, but
no help, no fury, like a woman scorned.
So she goes to her boss's house. You're at home. You're applying a tourniquet to yourself.
Yeah.
Is that what you did?
Yeah, applied pressure and went to the hospital.
Okay,
yeah,
your buddy drives you. Okay, all good.
Stay in here.
I think I need to gather myself after that photo. Hey, John. Hey, John, are you cool if we take just like 2 minutes, just real quick, just like a 2-minute break? I'll go get a drink and be right back.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We'll take 2. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about where we're leading off right now to where you go to the hospital. We'll be back in 2 minutes, guys. Just give us. All right, all right. I'm back. I'm gathered. Had to bring myself back together there, John.
Yeah.
Okay,
Look,
so
how we looking?
dude, you know, I love that you can have a sense of humor about it. But yeah, I had to pull myself together. That's some rough stuff. You look great, man. You look great. But okay, so the attack happens and you're on your way to the hospital. Let's get there. We'll tell the story.
Well, I knew the area well, and I woke my friend up and told him that I have to go to the hospital, and he thought I was waking him up to go to work, and so he went in and brushed his teeth, and then he saw the blood and all over the place, the carpet, walls. So it's like, oh my god, and then he was a mechanical engineer, and he had his 1966 Mustang that
Right?
was totally reconditioned, and it was really nice. Had like 400 horsepower in it.
And you're
So
bleeding out. You're bleeding out in this car.
yeah, I'm wearing my sweatpants, and so he gets me to the hospital within 10 minutes, and they get me in there, and they're putting towels on top of me, more and more towels, like big mounded towels, because it kept bleeding. The doctor comes in, puts a tourniquet on to stop the blood, and then the doctor says, well, if they can't find the little fireman, they're gonna have to sew me up, and that sit down to pee. So at that point I was like, okay, well, I might as well kill myself. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, like, I was looking for a way to self-terminate. So I think that's what it was all about. So
Okay, so we got the cops out, and the cops are actually looking at this point for
Yeah.
your penis.
Right.
Okay, this is the part of the story that really is going to be hard for me to explain, but it's true from what I understand. The cops actually located your penis.
Well, they had to catch up to Lorena. They caught up to Lorena, and they said that she had to tell them where it was, or she was facing definitely 20 years if she didn't tell them. If she didn't tell them, then that would have been an automatic 20 years in prison.
Wow.
So she told them, and then they was successfully reattached, and then
Okay, but she
I
tells
think her whole motive was, she wanted to kill me, but she didn't want the responsibility of murder. She didn't want the consequences of that. So she thought, well, if she cut my penis off, then I would kill myself, and it would just be a one-sided story.
Okay, but once the cops located your penis, they brought your penis to the hospital in a 7-Eleven hot dog box.
Oh yeah, but they had a hard time finding it. Yeah, at first.
What?
Well, because one of the cops got tired and sat down, and his buddy said, "Hey, you're sitting on it." It was like this big log. They had a crane on top of a flatbed,
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at it. It's just that you're making it funny. I'm trying to figure out how did a 7-Eleven hot dog box come in to be in the casket for your penis on the way to the hospital?
Well, cops they eat more than donuts. They like hot dogs too. That's right there.
Okay.
7-Eleven.
Okay, so they get
I got this box here. That'll work.
Your penis gets to the hospital, and so they tell you. Did they tell you that they found it?
Yeah, the doctor said that he found it, and he was happy. He was more, excited than I was. It's like, wow. It's like, it must be like a dream for a reconstructive surgeon and a urologist. So
Okay.
I was like, it was like the happiest day of my life. You know, they
Right,
found
right,
it, and then they saying, okay, we can reattach it, hopefully, you know. And then they prepped me for surgery. Prepped me for surgery was like a 10 and a half hour surgery, about a yeah.
Allison
10
says,
and a
"Oh
half
my
hour
God."
surgery. Hour
Allison
for every
says,
inch.
Allison says those pictures are so hard to look at. I'm so sorry that happened to you.
Who looked at him?
The photos that you just showed, Allison Perlman said that they were really hard to look at, and she was sorry that that happened to you.
Yeah, she wanted to stay married.
So
But
okay,
she did it.
so they have your penis in the hospital with you. What where do you when do you find out that there's a possibility that they can reattach it?
When he explained that they can surgically, reattach it. They prepped me for surgery, and he said it was in good condition, and it was a clean cut, sharp. She used a play knife. It was like a 12-inch blade.
I saw the knife. The knife, yeah, definitely
12-inch
like
blade.
yeah, straight out of a horror movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did he tell you your chances were of it actually, being fully functional and stuff? Did he give you those odds and stuff right away, or you just didn't know?
No. He was optimistic, but that's the doctor.
Right. Wow.
Doing it right there. You go. That's one of the doctors.
Right. So he's optimistic that the surgery was going to be a success. And how long after the surgery? I believe I on the Stern project that they said that like 9 days later you got up and you used the bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay, explain that. What was that situation like the first time you walked to the bathroom after you'd been reattached? Who's that you showing there?
That's Devon. That's the girl that hit me on my bicycle. A few days prior, she came over to give me a new bike. But
So that's the girl that this is the cause.
Yeah, this is an older version of her. Devon.
Okay.
She's Vietnamese. She has people call her Devon, but it's she has a hard to pronounce first and last name.
So what's the attraction to foreign girls, man? You're attracted to foreign girls.
Well, I like because I lived in Japan for a year. Okinawa, Japan. I was in the military, the Marine Corps, and they're nice women.
I agree.
They're traditional.
I agree.
I would say modern women. Modern women can be pretty bad. Traditional women can be good because they're properly raised by their parents and grandparents to be good women. Play your gender role. I believe in gender roles. Men be men, women be women. The men do the men things, and women do the women things.
I'm with you. I count too.
Yeah,
I mean, too.
Traditionally, and then
right.
I don't mind helping out doing the women's stuff. Cooking, cleaning, changing diapers or whatever. It's all part of getting it done.
Right. Okay, so 9 days after the surgery, you successfully operate your penis in the restroom, and where do we go from here? Now the trial starts. Charges are pressed. What's going on?
Well, we did some TV shows, stuff like that. That did Howard Stern. Did a lot of his radio, and he did a pay-per-view special for me. It's like a bunch of naked girls on stage.
It shows, and I agree with you, Tug, 100%. Tug says, I'm glad he has a sense of humor about this so many years later. It is great, and it's almost kind of shocking to hear you making jokes about it. What are we looking at there, dude? Wow.
Can you make it out?
That looks that yeah, I got it. I got it, brother.
They're reattaching it.
My
They're
God.
reattaching it.
Who took the photos?
The doctors.
Okay.
It's all part of the evidence. I never realized I had that photo. Cool.
God damn. God damn is right, Tug. I'm going to go ahead and post that one up too. Tug, I agree 110%. That is definitely a goddamn. Goddamn. Okay.
I felt like the scarecrow, man, being all tore apart, you know.
Here comes some more of my stupid questions, okay? Through all of this stuff when this was going on, you're in the hospital, your penis is getting reattached. Did you still love her at that time, man?
Yeah, I did. I tried to.
I think you did. I think you did, because one of the things that really surprised me about the case, John, is that through everything you didn't want her to go to jail, and that really it kind of cements that you definitely did love her.
I think I said for a consequence would be deportation, you know. So I didn't want to go to prison or anything, but I think, you know, I understand why she did it, because I wasn't there for her. You know, I left her, you know, and I shouldn't have left her. I should try to work it out, but it was difficult. We didn't have, you know, our parents and our family to help us. We had, you know, this lady here.
Is that the boss?
Yeah, the boss.
Okay.
She
the blonde. Oh, the blonde. She's a pretty lady.
Yeah, she owned five beauty salons, and she had a lot to do with getting her off. She had a lot of power, influence, and money, and that's how it happened. They wrote a false script, and still today they stick to it. And you know, Lorena's on a smear campaign, make me look bad, like I'm the monster, and she's innocent. Like, who's the monster here? Did you see those photos of what she did to me?
Right.
She's the monster.
So here you are in the healing position.
That's reduction.
That's reduction?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that too,
You're
bro.
getting ahead of yourself, David. You're getting ahead of yourself.
Sorry. Holy shit, John. Okay. So
we should go out drinking one of these days.
We should. I'd love to throw a line. I'd love to throw a line with you, brother, for sure.
We can get half cocked. Hopefully the bartender won't cut us off. Cheers, brother.
I wasn't expecting any of that. Okay, so I gotta pull myself back in here. So, God, you're making me forget my questions, man. All right, so you're at the point to where you're attached. You're coming out. Now the legalities are taking place. Explain that circus.
That was just we didn't know what hit us, me and my family. It was just a lot of narcissism, a lot of, you know, cerebral narcissism from her boss's perspective. I mean, she orchestrated the whole thing, and she wanted to use same prosecutors to prosecute both cases because she knew she won them over. She won the prosecutors over. So the prosecutor tried to prosecute me for marital sexual abuse, and they had the jury trial there, 9 women and 3 men, and Lorena lied. Everybody lied and made up stories that weren't true in my court case, and it was found out that, you know, she cut her panties with scissors. You know, they found that out. You know,
so, right. I remember the day that the jury came through, and I remember seeing you walk out of the courtroom, and it was probably since the beginning of the story of what had happened and all the separation and everybody being at each other back and forth, it was probably the first time I saw you smile.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that they made up stories that weren't true, They lied, and it didn't seem to matter at all to anybody. Like she said I came home and raped her on a Friday night. But my boss came in to testify. I was at work. You know,
Okay. So
and
through
it
all
was
the
just
physical,
one lie after another. You know,
through all the physical stuff, through all the physical stuff between the two of you, I understand, you guys are in your 20s and you're young and very passionate. If you're not fighting, you're in the bedroom together. Did you ever hit her, man?
no, no,
Never
what?
once.
I would hurt her.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously you're a big dude, so I get that. But,
I would hurt her.
you know, going back and forth, there was never no contact between you both at the same
Well,
time. She hit you,
well,
you hit her back.
well, if she attacks me, jumps on my back or starts hitting me and stuff and gets mean and nasty and throwing things, stabbing me with a fork, trying to run me over the car or whatever, I don't attack her. I defend myself, but I don't hit her back.
Okay.
What can you do? You can probably, avoid being hit by, putting up your arms and blocking some punches and stuff like that. But that's basically what happened, or I tried to seduce her or
All right. Well, yeah, I mean,
grab
yeah.
her or grab somebody from, grab your spouse and try to try to stop them preventing from hitting you,
All right.
but yeah, she was violent. She beat up her mom.
She beat up her mother.
She beat up her
Wow.
mother. She had to go to court.
So,
but
were
her
there
mother dropped the charges.
were there any police reports to any other incidents, like, cops came to your house and she was bruised? Or, I mean, you're in the military at the time, man, so, and a Marine on top of that, so I imagine that your CO and all that stuff would have probably not made your life very good if this
Well,
was to be revealed.
well,
No reports of
we,
anything.
we would have fights and arguments, and hang on a minute. Whoa, got a leg cramp.
It's all good.
We have fights and arguments and go to her boss's house. Sorry about that.
No, you're good, man. You want to take a break? Or you're good.
No, that's all right.
All right.
We go to her boss's house and I don't know, talk about our marital problems, and then she would suggest that I get some counseling for me and her. So I went to my base commander, and he said, "Well, you go to family services and make an appointment." So I went and did that, and they used that against me in court.
Wow.
To make it look like it was domestic violence or something.
Right. No police reports?
Not really.
So, okay.
Cops were
You were-
called and they left. The cops were
You
called
were
and they left.
were you ever arrested?
I filed a police report on her. I think she filed a police report on me, but she started the whole thing, and she attacked me, and she got hurt, and not because I hit her, because she was attacking me.
Okay.
A small girl like that's getting wild and crazy and hitting you. Is she gonna get hurt? Probably.
Right.
You can't just attack somebody without getting hurt. But
Right.
you don't have to. You don't have to hit them or anything. They can injure themselves, and that's what happens a lot of times. Girls would actually injure themselves to get you in trouble, and say you did it. It happens a lot.
I mean,
Girls use
dude,
the law to their advantage.
she's a pretty girl. Them Latina girls are crazy though, man.
Yeah.
No offense to anybody, but they'll cut you. Literally, though, you know what I mean? But so you get to this point to where you made your decision that you were going to leave. You're already out of the relationship, so you weren't really trying to fight to stay together when all this stuff happened. So you were already done.
I realize now. Back then, that I didn't realize was that I was at Camp Lejeune and I drank chemicals, and I think that
Right.
affected me neurologically. So it causes neurobehavioral effects. So I wasn't behaving or acting the way it should have been behaving or acting, which probably drove her crazy.
Right.
So,
And we're going to get to that Camp Lejeune stuff
Lejeune
here.
chemicals, yeah.
We're on our way to that. So, all right, let's get past all the trial and everything. She's found not guilty on reason of insanity. You're found not guilty. So the judge basically just kind of said, you go your way, she goes her way.
Yeah.
All right. So at this point, when do you realize how famous you were getting and becoming at the time? When do you realize, holy shit, I told you this when we first started talking, that I have actually ran into you twice in Vegas. Once was at Club Rock, and ironically, the second bar was called Area 51. It was at a LA Guns and Lynch Mob concert. And at both places, I swear you probably had 7 to 10 beautiful women surrounding you. I mean, they were just like magnets to you.
Oh.
When did you realize that this was happening? That when you started to go, wow, this, I'm starting to pull them in.
Yeah. Was it? What year was that? About.
Geez, man, the Club Rock one, my band was playing there, was probably 97, 98, maybe 96, 97, something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. So doing adult conventions and stuff. And
Yeah, there was no chicks by the stage. They were all at the bar with you. Thanks,
yeah,
Joe.
we're doing AVN, Adult Video Network, at the adult conventions every year, and then we would go out to parties and get limos and stuff like that. So all the girls from my movies, like 5 years straight, would do that. So it'd be like 95, 96, 97, 98, 95.
So you get into this situation,
94 to 98.
Dude. I mean, all this stuff happens. What was the phone call to get you involved into doing adult movies? What the fuck? How did this happen? Who was it that contacted you about doing porno?
I think I went to some party. It was Wet and Wild, Playboy Wet and Wild. Called Playboy Wet and Wild party. The Playboy Playmates were there, and Hugh Hefner, Ron Jeremy, and a bunch of adult stars. And I went there with Latoya Jackson and my manager. Latoya Jackson was married to my manager, and we went to Las Vegas.
Like Mike, you went to the Playboy Mansion with Michael Jackson's sister, dude.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I've actually seen her in person too, man. Holy shit, she's
hanging out with her, and then we were approached by Ron Jeremy about doing a cameo, and then it got to where, okay, why can't we do a story version of adult version of my story? So we did it. It was kind of corny. It wasn't a detailed story, you know what I mean? It should have been more detailed, but I don't know. I was just having too much fun with all those girls, you know.
Right.
Which probably made Lorena mad.
So you brought up somebody's name, dude, who is an absolute predator, man. Ron Jeremy was like busted down. What are your thoughts on him and what his fate was?
I think he's a victim of the Me Too movement, and a bunch of radical left women that are trying to get him in trouble for something he didn't do.
You don't think he's guilty for anything?
No. Everybody knows Ron. He wouldn't do that. It's just narcissistic women trying to make people believe he did something that he didn't do, because when women who had recently had sex with him, they regret it afterwards, because their friends would be like, "What? You had sex with Ron Jeremy? Oh my God, gross! That's disgusting." So the women are like, okay, to save face and their reputation, they said, "No, he forced me," because it's always been consensual with every woman he's ever been with. until he got disgusting and fat, and he's got a condition. He's got a certain condition that got worse over time.
I would say
And
so.
last time I seen him was at a ABN award convention, but he looked like he just crawled out of a dumpster. Though he was in bad shape. He wasn't taking care of himself. And women who actually had sex with him consensually would recant, basically, and say, no, he forced me. I didn't have consensual sex with him. They didn't want to admit it. That they have consensual sex with Ron Jeremy. So I believe that, narcissism's very powerful. Women can manipulate people. They're master manipulators. And, the Me Too movement and all these radical left women that were with him consensually basically said, oh, he forced me. So that's what you got. You got the narcissistic women trying to convince everybody that he raped him when he didn't. That's what you got. So
Wow.
get a psychiatrist involved in investigating this case, and that's what they'll prove.
That is probably. I'm shocked to hear your answer on that. To be honest with you, I really thought
it can happen to anybody. It happens to a lot of sports athletes and stuff.
Okay.
Celebrities.
So you think because? Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, but you think because it was Ron Jeremy and he was famous and had, I don't know, was he really rich or not?
Well, women do it to get fame and fortune and want money out of it too. Lawsuit. Certain people are targets. Celebrities and sports stars and all that. Who knows? Mike Tyson. What he did with that one girl. I don't think she was raped. Why was she doing there at 1 o'clock in the morning? He was sleeping and she had an opportunity to leave. She didn't leave. She stayed there. Then she said that he raped her.
I think he even said he raped her though, dude.
Well, who knows? It must have been high. He's a strong guy. Maybe
right.
Gaslit and thinking that maybe I did rape her. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I'm confused. I was high and I had sex with her.
Right.
Maybe I was a little too forceful, or maybe because I'm a superior athlete. I'm very strong. Maybe I was a little too rough.
Okay.
But maybe he was gaslighting and I don't think she was. What was the evidence that she was actually raped?
I think it was just testimony. I don't know if there was actually any evidence on that trial, but I do believe and again, you're bringing a snack to a gladiator. You know what I mean? Yeah. I agree to certain parts of the statement of why would a woman go to 1 o'clock in the morning?
Sleeping, you jump in the bed with him.
I understand that there's right and wrong.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, you're in the bathroom and it's 1 o'clock in the morning. He's sleeping in the bed, and you jump in the bed with him. He gets in trouble.
Better become friends with her family. Let them
well,
go with them.
I mean, but the no matter what, bro, no matter what, when a woman says stop, you got to stop, man.
Yeah.
You got to stop, and Mike Tyson at the time was such a gladiator and a hardcore athlete that he ruled the world. That he did, and he just took what he wanted. And man, I hate this subject. I really do. I hate the subject, but I like Mike Tyson. I was a big fan of him at the time, and then I wasn't really, what I mean. It was very devastating to me that he was actually,
Sometimes we need people to do some serious Sherlock Holmes investigating to find out what the truth really is.
I agree.
No one does it. No one does their due diligence.
I agree. And, lie detectors don't hold up in court either. And I don't, like I say, I don't know that case very well, man. It was just once I heard that he was guilty, I was kind of done with Mike Tyson. I mean, I was like, oh man, that's just, we've all, as men, we go out and we're like, yeah, man, the minute a girl says no, bro, I'm like,
not a rapist.
And dude, look at my face. Look at my face. I get told no. Dude, my face is a no face. It's like I can walk up to a woman and say, hey, can I buy you? And her answer is no. I can't even buy a drink. I'm so ugly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you go to a hotel with her and you got a lot of money. She knows you're wealthy.
True.
So
The money thing always plays in. It always plays in. And you're right, 100%.
you have sex with her.
So
You have
in your
sex with her, and then you come inside of her, and you go to sleep. She goes in the bathroom, and she hurts herself down there, and beats herself up. Then she's running down the hallway, in her nightgown, calling the cops, and you're in bed sleeping, and they come and handcuff you.
what kind of women do you know, bro?
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, I'm just saying. There's women out
Right,
there that
right.
do
Yeah,
this.
it's easy to it's
Will
easy
do
to
that.
set up a man. It's easy to set up, and the court system is very friendly to men on the norm. But did we go into the Twilight Zone?
That's right.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Okay.
I've seen a camera where a woman beat herself up in an elevator to try to get her husband in trouble. Just punching herself in the face
Hey.
in the elevator on camera.
So let's go back to Lorena for a second, bro. When was the last time you spoke to her? What was the last conversation you had with her? Have you said anything? Have you spoken to her since this happened?
The last time I talked with her was hang on a minute.
What was that interview you guys did?
Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute.
No, it's all good, dude. I understand. You got to think.
It was the Insider. It was this interview right here.
Oh, you guys were on there together. I didn't see that one. So it's basically like a he said, she said kind of a situation.
Well, we were talking, and the lady there was trying to get us to talk. I didn't want to talk to her. I mean, But anyways, she said, asking her, Lorena, what you told me. And I said, you almost killed me. And she said she couldn't remember doing it. And I looked at her and said, don't worry. It was just a scratch. So she got really mad. She got this really mean face because she wanted me to hurt as much as she was hurting. Hurting. Deep-seated emotional pain of rejection and abandonment.
Wow.
Wow. Infidelity too.
So your last conversation,
rejection and abandonment. Infidelity, rejection, and abandonment, and neglect. I call it painful rain. Rejection, abandonment, infidelity, and neglect.
Your last conversation with Lorena was on a television show.
Painful rain. Yeah, Purple Rain, huh? Yeah, on TV it was our last conversation.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we started to talk in the beginning, you started to talk about Camp Lejeune, where you were stationed, which a lot of people may not be familiar with the fact that Camp Lejeune, there was toxic chemicals stored underground there. The whole water filtration system was completely contaminated. Swimming pools, the drinking water, everything. And do you honestly think that may have taken part in why you weren't acting right when you were younger?
Yeah, that had a lot to do with everything that happened in my life because I had caused neurological problems. It's called neurobehavioral effects from the chemicals. It's going to affect your body. It's going to affect your brain. And I was consuming large amounts of toxic chemicals on the base. I can't believe I'm still alive, but it caused a lot of problems because I couldn't focus and concentrate on my job, my relationships, and probably had problems with my marriage, because of the chemicals. So
okay,
because immediately after being exposed, I had a lot of difficulty. My brain was like in a fog most of the time. And it was hard. And I didn't know until like later on in like 2018 that, oh, no wonder I was at Camp Lejeune. Oh, didn't know that all my problems were a result of these chemicals.
And you're a part of an active lawsuit right now against the government because of the chemicals that were put into stored underground. What is it basically, right?
Yeah. Well, there's dead animals that were buried there. There was a dry cleaning company that dumped degreasers in the water supply. Millions of gallons of fuel were leaked into the drinking water. So many different chemicals that they were just dumping there, and getting into the water supply. For example, from 1953 to 1987, like all the women that were stationed there, their babies died. Or were born deformed. So, it was a tragedy. They even have a graveyard site there called Baby Heaven, with all these little tombstones, the babies that died through all those years. So,
So where you're at
how
right
bad it was.
now? So where you're at right now in life, you've been having some health issues. You want to explain any of that stuff? So
Yeah, I was in and out of the hospital with treatments and surgeries for the past 10 years, going through a lot of pain and suffering. Spent most of the time in the hospital or at home in bed, home health care, and in and out of rehab centers, recuperating from multiple amputations. Seven amputations on my feet. So, and then vascular surgery. So, it was a lot. I had to go through a lot of, it was a battle. Just I couldn't do anything. It was. I had money in the bank, and I lived on for those years, but I couldn't work.
right.
I couldn't
Right.
work, and then I ran out of money, and I moved in with family, and helping me get back on my feet.
So you've lost part of your feet or both feet?
Both, half of both feet. Yeah, I have no toes.
Okay. And this is direct result from Camp Lejeune.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got 3 law firms working on compensation, disability, and personal injury. So, they signed the bill in August of 22, the PACT Act bill, to compensate people who have been exposed to toxins like Ancient Orange and burn pits and Camp Lejeune. So they finally admitted after 40 years that they were covering it up. The
Right.
Camp Lejeune thing.
Right.
Yeah, the water tasted funny, and they were like, oh, don't worry, it's just minerals from the nearby mountain. Right.
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 So how long was you stationed at Camp Lejeune for, man?
Well, 6 months total. 3 months of water transport training, and then went to the base swimming pool. Worked as a lifeguard for another 3 months, waiting on transfer overseas to Okinawa, Japan. So 3 months, 6 months total.
Right.
Yeah. So
So you said earlier that and the reason that we were even linked up was we have a mutual friend together, Dave.
Yeah.
Dave. You guys you've been staying with them for a little bit out there, and I
what's he
mean,
done?
No.
yeah. But these people have been very protective and guarding you.
Yeah.
Are they like the best family friends that you have, man? Because obviously you need people around you, right?
Yeah, they're better than my real family. I mean, I grew up in a good family, but I was adopted, so I wasn't treated as like I don't think I was treated as like their real son. But I mean, this is a good family, a real good family. I mean,
Right.
there's a lot of love, and everybody's close.
Right. And
it feels like I'm at home with my real family.
Dave and Dawn, they're good people. I'm friends with their family as well outside of you. With Frankie, I've since '89. You know what I mean? I've known about these guys, and they've been great people the whole time. So it's great to see that you do have a support system. I want to ask you a couple more questions. Do you feel, and this is on the positive of what we just talked about having Dave and Dawn there for you. do you feel like people try to attach to you because of the fame that you've had from this crazy life that that you were tossed into? Do you feel like people are trying to take advantage of you and just want to just say that they hung out with John Bobbitt instead of actually knowing who you really are?
My ex-wife, yeah, Joanne, she was taking advantage of me by trying to use my name to further her modeling career. And Dave and Dawn knew who she was, and Dottie Brewer too.
Is that this photo here? Did this chick write a book about you? This Dottie Brewer?
Yeah. I was with her for a week. We got married, and then I left her. I told her I was in love with another woman. So she asked me to marry her. She came to Vegas. We got married at one of those express weddings, and I don't know. I think she may have just done it to sell a book.
Right, and I'm sure it was in the top 10 right away, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, it's a good picture though.
Yeah, well, of you it is. Fuck Dottie Brewer. We're gonna get her. But I mean, so what seriously, what I'm saying is, like, do you feel? I mean, outside of Dave and Dawn, can you trust anybody, man? How do you trust people? How can you call people your friend when people are like, okay, let's talk about Stern. Is it all right if I bring up Howard Stern?
Yeah. Oh, I just want to say, Dave and Dawn defend me. Dave defended me last night. You fucking bitch. Bitch slap your ass.
Yeah, that's true.
Bitch slap you.
But
somebody was talking shit, so Dave stood up for me.
Well, sometimes people get what they ask for. Dave's a scrapper. You can't fuck with Dave.
Yeah, he's like a hockey player.
So let's talk about Stern, dude. Okay, and help me understand this. And let me say this. I'm 53 years old. I've made it my whole life. I've never had a discussion about another man's penis until this conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm on uncharted waters here myself. You know what I mean? But okay, so you had the penis was reattached.
All right.
Okay. And then where do we go to Howard Stern for a penis enlargement? How does that come about?
That was at my first movie, Uncut, John Wayne Bobbitt Uncut. So there were some guys doing surgeries to make their Johnson longer, thicker, and some of the guys got really messed up bad, and that ended up one of the guys ended up killing himself because it was botched. It was botched and it got ruined, and it's crazy. I don't know. I must have had some balls to do something like that.
So
I mean, I just had my penis cut off and they're making it bigger, but it worked.
So you go Howard Stern. I watched the show where he did the New Year's Eve thing or whatever it was where you were on there and he was, let's help John out and get him in. So you get a penis, you get a penis enlargement, and it was too large.
Yeah, too large. Too large.
Like how large is too large?
First was
man?
with Tabitha Stevens, and we had sex for like 4 hours straight, and she got sore, and then she was sore for like 2 days after that. But she took it like a champ, man. She did. She took it like a champ. I mean, she enjoyed it, She got sore for a little bit. One time I had sex with a girl, as a stripper. She was like 20 years old, and it was like 12 hours. We were going at it for 12 hours. We took breaks, but she got sore and she time out. Yeah, but she enjoyed it for some. She like fell in love with me after the 12 hours of session.
Okay. So you get a penis enlargement, and what makes you decide to go back and get a reduction?
It was too big. So I was with the girl. She was like about 4'11" and 4'9", weighed about 90 pounds, and it's just too big for her. It's like stuffing a turkey, you know.
So you got a penis.
Gotta have some balls, maybe. Gotta have some balls. Grandma's straw and suck all the baby grandma out of my coconuts. Oh yeah.
You just
Oh my god.
okay. So
Can you handle it? Hey, baby. Hey, Dave, how's it hanging?
Not as big as yours.
holy God, holy God. So so it was like okay. So you were with a small woman, and that's what made you. That's what made you decide to get a penis reduction was because you were with a small woman.
Yeah, she was a little Italian girl. You know, it's like couldn't handle it. It's too big.
And so you
Yeah.
go back to the doctor. And okay, let me bring this up. So we're going to reduction.
It's like it's ridiculous. You know.
There's the reduction,
Look
right?
Look at that, Drew. Or look, that's my reduction right there. That's my reduction. I had to get Dr. Berman to make it smaller. That's my reduction right there. They had the doctor to put it back on. We tested it and all that surgically. He did the reduction. Same guy. We're good friends with the guy. Yeah, good friends.
Real skin and shit.
Yeah. Same thing. It's my penis. But it's transformed.
So your shit got sewed back on? Yeah.
Sewed back on. Then they made it bigger,
and
thicker, and then they reduced it, and they had a reduction.
I never seen this shit. I was trying to.
Went back to normal size.
He'll whip that bitch out.
Sorry, everybody's asking me questions about the pictures.
Sorry,
It's all
Dad.
good. It's all good, man. We're moving
Didn't mean to cut
along.
you off, man.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Okay, here we are today, right now. Do you feel like you've been treated fairly in the press?
Oh no. It's all geared up to women because it's a woman's world, It's a woman's world. The beauty products, the modeling, they're the one that spend. They're the one that spends all the money. They're the one out there spending. Men make the money, they bring it home. The woman goes out and spends it. So I think that it plays into everything, really. Women are protected, and Hollywood, and all that.
No, I never 14.
Okay, so so the answer is no.
No man's gonna get a fair shake.
Okay.
We're expendable. We're disposable. Men are.
Do you feel like you've done your best? Do you feel like you've done your best to tell the story, John? Do you feel like you've done the best to tell the true story so you do get treated fairly?
I think everyone should treat everyone fairly with love, care, and respect. That's what I think.
Right.
Everyone should get a share amount of love, care, and respect. Like Rodney Dangerfield comes home and is like, "Hey, I get no respect."
Right.
Like, yeah, get no respect. I mean, men work hard and provide the life and protection and support and provide and all that. And I think
Right.
back in the old days, the men, women, the kids, and the dogs were like, "Wow, Dad's home," But now it's like, "Fuck you,"
Right.
So
So
that's the modern world. It's not the
what's next for you, man? What's your focus in on right now? What are you focused in on right now? What's your future for you? What do you want for yourself?
Educating people on the red flags, basically. Been studying a lot about psychology and all that, and all the different types of. Because psychology has just only been around 150 years, and they still don't know about human behavior. The good and bad. It's complicated. It's real complicated. So I'm trying to figure out how to explain, all the different types of narcissists and different types of tactics. And people should know all that. So I think they should get some sort of platform where people can learn all that stuff.
Right.
They're familiar with the red flags, so they don't get hurt. And the mothers and fathers can say, "Okay, listen, son, I know a little bit more than you do." Especially after I studied, this program about, the different there's so many different types of bad people out there, scams, you know. I think that there needs to be more love in the world. More love. That's what we need.
Do you think it's
There needs to be more
possible?
love in the world. I think that's what we need most of. Is also is what we don't give enough of. Is love.
Do you think it's possible, John? Do you think it's possible with everything that you've gone through? With everything that you've gone through, is it possible for you to actually find true love again?
Yeah.
Only if she meets my requirements.
Yeah.
That's Dawn. Was that Dawn there?
Yeah. She has to provide the application process for anyone.
Right. She's reading that.
They have to pass the application process.
Is that something that you want for yourself, John? Do you want to settle down and just chill, man?
Yeah. Everybody wants someone, companion. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Here's a question, man, for you that I don't mean to
Life partner.
I don't mean to sound disrespectful in any way, and I hope you don't take it the wrong way. But do you think that at any time you ever became addicted to the attention that you got over this case? Do you think that the attention was something that you were really attracted to and you liked?
Yeah, in the beginning, yeah. There's a lot of limelight.
Stop.
She really appreciates the podcast. But anyways, yeah, it got really hectic.
No, that's just asshole.
I mean, I gotta admit, I enjoyed the attention and the limelight and the all the favoritism, and it was fun for a little while.
Right.
Playboy
Right.
Man,
Team John.
hanging out with Larry Flint, going to Larry Flint's hustler parties, and and going to the Playboy Mansion, and hanging out with all these beautiful girls and adult films, and it was fun. I mean, it got a lot of attention, sold a lot of movies, and
Right.
but it died out. It got old, and at some point I said, no, this isn't me. This is not who I am. So I had to go back to innocence, so basically who I was in the beginning.
And that's where Dave and Dawn come in, right? They keep you grounded.
Yeah. They keep me from away from the evil, evil people of the world.
Right.
Lawyers, politicians, bad girls.
Well, John, I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna cut. I did not even mean to say that, dude, but I did. It did, and that's you could just reach through the screen and slap me. But I want to cut it. I want to cut it here because I would love to have you back and just for a round table of future discussions. You know what I'm saying, brother?
Yeah, we can do a couple other segments.
I don't want to wear out my welcome. I know you guys are having your night and wanting to do your stuff and get your chill on.
Night.
Yes, it is. So I do want to truly thank you, Dave and Dawn, for spending this time with us. And dude, your personality is great, John. I mean, it's great that you have a personality and a sense of humor through all of this, because most people would just be stone cold, but you have a great personality. You're funny as fuck. I've enjoyed talking with you, man. And I hope to have you back soon to talk about more stuff.
Yeah. There's probably a lot to discuss,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm still kind of hung up on the mushroom photos, bro. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. That sounds like a good idea.
It was tough. But yeah, man, I'm going to let you go, brother. I appreciate you tonight, and we'll get you back on. We'll have a round table about something. Get Dave on here too, and Dawn can just smack everybody.
Oh yeah, I will.
Right on. Right on, guys. We'll talk at you again soon.
Have a nice night.
Go Cowboys.
You too. Peace out. Peace out. Holy fuck. I mean, this guy's life is like an e-ticket ride to Disneyland. Back in the day, they used to have to get tickets, you know. And the e-ticket was the best ticket to the best rides. I'm certain if he wrote a book, it would be a movie. It would be a movie of like a Van Wilder kind of a situation, to where he takes you through, and you hear him talking about the people that he's hung out with, LaToya Jackson, fucking Larry Flint, going to their places and hanging out and doing what celebrities do, getting down. You know what I mean? They had a good time doing it. I honestly believe that this is a good dude who has been through some really shitty situations. I mean, it happens to everybody. Now listen. I know that I'm going to instantly be canceled. People are going to cancel. Don't listen to him, blah, blah, blah. I'm not taking sides on men versus women and women versus men, especially in this day and age where everybody's trying to be something else. And the one thing that people aren't trying to be is real. And how I feel tonight is I feel like I had a conversation with a real dude. He's gone through his life, a roller coaster of emotion and just insanity. And he's a good dude. He's a good dude. I cannot say anything negative about him. I don't want to say anything negative about him. I think John is a cool dude. And he's going to come back. So I hope you guys enjoyed the cast tonight. I hope I got a weak stomach, man. When I saw the mushroom photo, I had to go to the bathroom. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. It was tough. Wow, was it tough? Good peeps. We'll see you guys on the next cast.